Kicking off our program today is a guy that we are all very much looking forward to. If I tell you first that he has a professional background in theater and a special interest in medieval Spanish literature, 15th century, if you're wondering, it might not directly lead you to guess what field he's working in. Anyway, more about that from himself. He's VP at Oracle. Please give it up for our first keynote speaker for today, Matthew Banks.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. It really is a good morning, actually. A good time to be at this wonderful festival. So many different interest groups and generations and nations and perspectives coming together. There's a wonderful energy about this place, a wonderful momentum about this place, and it's a pleasure to be back here. It's also a good time to be alive. Yeah, it's a great time to be alive, to see the creativity and the ambition and the optimism just gathered in these rooms and in your faces. So thank you for your time. You know, your money or your love, I can take it or leave it, but your time is a finite resource. Yeah. I mean, the only one thing we know for certain is when I sit down, you're all going to be half an hour closer to dead. You may feel even more than half an hour closer to dead, but you can never get that back. So I respect your time, and I honor your time, and I thank you for your time, and I don't want to waste your time. So I'm going to talk about lessons in this digital age. The digital age. I've been talking about the digital age, including here actually. I've been talking about the digital age for years. No one's been listening, but I've been talking about it for years. And what I've realized in the last year, since I was here last actually, is I've been kind of talking a lot of rubbish. I've been missing some stuff. And so what I wanted to reflect on this morning is lessons for myself. So I'm kind of talking to myself, really, but I'll have the pleasure of sharing it with you. So what I do, basically, is I yakety-yak, I blah-blah, I travel around for Oracle, really talking about empathy and design and customer-centric design in the digital age, blah-blah. And it's basically built around digital transformation, and it's a story that you all know and you're all very familiar with. And I'm accompanied on my travels by Eve. And this is Eve. You're Eve. I'm Eve. Eve's just a modern digital native. She's one of us. She's part of this whole thing that's going on. And the sort of Darwinian logic is that Eve is changing. We're changing, and we're changing really fast. And we've got to respect that. The survivors won't be the strongest guys or the smartest guys. The survivors will be the guys who can morph, who can change around Eve. And we've been around humankind 30,000, 50,000 years. But Eve, if you think about it, Eve is changing like never before. And so if we take a sort of historical perspective on that, it's only really about 500 years ago that Eve realized that Eve was told that the Earth wasn't the center of the solar system. Copernicus, it took about 3 years to explain and about 3 generations to adopt. Copernicus made us realize that the sun was the center of the solar system and the sun was circling around other things. And that changed a lot. It changed maths, it changed physics, but it changed philosophy, it changed religion. Took a few generations, but you can't go back. And you know, it's only 250 years ago. It took a few years to introduce and a few generations to adopt that James Hargreaves heralded the Industrial Revolution. And suddenly there was a new center of gravity, the machine. and our society and capital, people moving from the country into the city, and the way we organize humankind. It's only 250 years, and it changed. There was a new center of gravity. And it's only 25 years ago. It took a few years with HTML and SOA and stuff that Tim Berners-Lee really brought us the internet. And it will take a few generations for the effects to be felt. We're in the middle. We're in the middle of that transition. But what's unusual is Eve is no longer watching. Eve has now become the center of gravity. And the new planets, the old planets, are crashing and burning as they fail to change their orbits around Eve. The new center of gravity is Eve, and actually gaining her trust, access to her time, her data, her attention. Some would say, it's not just her trust and her time and her data. Some would say, it's her money we need. I disagree. If you earn Eve's time and attention and data and trust, her money, if that's what you want, her value will follow. So this is a really interesting time. And I've been talking about that for years. No one's listening, but that's okay, because I love it, I'm interested. And then I talk about Oracle customers. Historically, Oracle customers, take Starbucks. They take their simple paper-based loyalty program. You know, you drink a coffee, you get another coffee. And they put it on a mobile phone, and now you can go, beep, and you can get your points and get your free coffee. But of course, they now know who you are and where you are. Oh, welcome to New York, happy birthday, have a muffin, blah. But then it gets more interesting because they realize that rewarding Eve with a free coffee is not as interesting as saying to Eve, not just what do you drink, but give your friend, your virtual friend, a free coffee. What does she drink as well as what do you drink? Where is she, not just where are you? And what they're doing is they're creating this kind of platform. And now they say, hey, Eve, welcome to New York. First time in New York. Your favorite perfume, half price, next door. If you pay with the Starbucks app. It's great for Eve. She's opted in. It's great for the perfume shop. They meet Eve. And it's great for Starbucks. Because it kind of works. These are historical stories. Yeah. What they're doing is they're creating a connection. There's a different kind of connection there. And it's not just with coffee. You see, it's not just about coffee. And it's not just when she's running about her shoes. And again, our customer experience manager using Oracle technology, Nike, thinking about not just the shoe, but the runner. Years back, they introduced the fuel band. I know where you're running. I know what you're doing. The data, the applications. And what's interesting, of course, the fuel band becomes a fashion statement. Everybody wants a fuel band. And soon, everyone is doing the wearable bands, yeah? So what do Nike do? They stop doing the fuel band. Let somebody else have the hardware. It's the data and the connection that we want. And you're seeing a learning brand. You're seeing the use of technology now to start to connect in new ways. You want shoes? What kind of shoes? All the team or just you? What color? What size? You want it in 6 weeks? Going forward. You want it in 6 days? You want it, I don't know, in 6 hours with the drone? We're moving, we're connecting. Old examples. I'm talking about these, and it all kind of makes sense. This is B2B. This is B2B shipping line. Maersk moves shipping containers around the world, yeah? But what they do is they're now using social properties across. This is 1 month of Instagram on Maersk. It's a B2B shipping line. They're connecting people at sea. They're connecting news and trade routes, not just containers. And they're creating a whole new social dynamic around being at sea. And if you want to know what's happening at sea now, today, you don't ask the trade press, you ask Maersk. If you want to know what's happening at sea, you ask Maersk. There's the Facebook page, 1.7 million likes. 1.7 million likes on a B2B container shipping line. That's really interesting. They're doing less to you, and they're doing more for you. So this is what I talk about. And I get very excited about connection. I've got to speed up. I get very excited about connection. I say, do you realize what's happening? The world is moving from the physical to the virtual. Ha-ha! It's moving. From product-based to service-led. Yes! from commoditized to personalized. You can see it from transactional to relational. Brave new digital world, from the functional to the emotional. I love my phone. I love what I can do, and I love what I can see. Fantastic. Look at these brands. Look at these connections. Wow. And what's happening? We say we're very lazy. It's moving from the traditional to the digital. Nah, not necessarily. But what is true, if you want to do service-led, personalized, relational, emotional, it's much quicker to do it digitally, virtually. It's much cheaper to do it digitally, virtually. It's much more sustainable to do it digitally, virtually. Whoa, digital, the world belongs to Oracle. Yeah, it's all digital, fantastic, right. And then off we go and we start talking about expectation management. We start talking about where the world is going. Eve in the middle, Eve's expectations. Wow, I love this video.
In my lifetime, the changes in the world have been incredible. I was on an airplane and there was internet, high-speed internet on the airplane. That's the newest thing that I know exists. And I'm sitting on the plane and they go, open up your laptop, you can go on the internet. And it's fast and I'm watching YouTube clips. I'm in an airplane. And then it breaks down. And they apologize, the internet's not working. The guy next to me goes, this is bull. Like how quickly the world owes him something he knew existed only 10 seconds ago. Right. That you got to fly. You're flying. It's amazing. Everybody on every plane should just constantly be going, oh my God! Wow! Yes. You're flying. You're sitting in a chair in the sky. Yes.
Yeah, it's funny, yeah. It's old content, and those of you that know me will say, yeah, but actually, you know what? We are difficult, and we are demanding, and Eve is tough, and she's right. Her expectations are charging. When my father was an immigrant, when he came over, he got a free education in the UK. He got a free education, and he got an indoor toilet. This was amazing for my father. But I don't walk around going, oh, wow, I got a free education and toilet when I was a kid. Of course I didn't. That's what we do. We absorb and we adopt and we move. And that's okay. That's what Eve does. So if you work in the airline industry, in the old days, you launch a new seat and you test it and you plan it and then you take it to market. And then 1 year later, you do marketing campaigns around your new seat. But it's true now. I want an app, and I want kind of upload my own data, entertainment, bring my own device. I want social networks on the plane. I want to drink in the same bar in Brazil as the air hostess. I want duty-free that's for me. And now we're talking about ingestible sensors, a loyalty card that I swallow. And when I walk in, it's true. And when I walk in the airport, all the digital advertising changes for me. And when I get to security, DNA levels straight through, don't stop. It's me. I've swallowed my loyalty card. My body is a sensor. It's true, we can do that. How do you stay up with those expectations? Where do you invest? And I was starting to drive myself mad. I was running around the world. I was running faster and faster and talking faster and faster, and no one was listening. I'm thinking, it's all about innovation. The new wave of innovation is the platform-based hub. Yes, you've got all these moving parts. Large companies, small companies, startups, all this capability. And what you've got to do is you've got to build this incredible digital platform, mobile, Internet of Things, analytics, front-end apps, design patterns, piece them together in a very agile, it's brilliant, it's really clever two-speed architecture. Your core is stable, but your surface, always innovating, always flying. Yeah, it's amazing. And we're going to have this new API economy, digital, transient, ad hoc, dynamic connections. Now, in the old days, we thought cost versus speed. The new enterprise, the new platform is going to be faster and cheaper. It's going to be more innovative and more efficient. More creative and more scalable. Wow! The new intelligent enterprise. Bring her to the middle. She's your customer. She's your employee. She's your partner. It's amazing technology. We can do it all. God. I was having a nervous breakdown. So I was having a nervous breakdown. I mean, it's true. It's a little bit true, but it's not interesting. And it doesn't help me very much. Hear me breathing. Wasn't it interesting? When the screen went blue, it's much more engaging, isn't it? I'm talking about all this stuff. I'm talking at you. Suddenly, ooh, ah, a little bit of tension, a little bit of like connection. So what do I learn? I'm having a nervous breakdown, and I sit in the garden last summer with my wife, and that's my youngest daughter. Much more interesting, isn't it? You're working out. That's his garden. One sunny day in the UK last year. Oh. Much more interesting looking at that than me going blah, blah, blah about stuff that you didn't know that. And basically, these were the 4 lessons that my wife said, you need a holiday. You're not just boring, you're looking ill. And the 4 lessons were just stop and ask yourself why. Look for shared meaning. Shared meaningful moments. You know, the technology's great. It's just a means. The heroes are the storytellers. Let me unpack that very quickly. So this is while my laptop comes back up. Can you see this coming back up? This is London Gatwick. Gatwick is the second airport in London. It's trying to modernise. It's the holiday airport. Normally, when you go to Gatwick in the holidays, there's kids running everywhere and there's dads fighting and being drunk, and it's not like Heathrow. But they're trying to modernise it. And we go to Gatwick, and because I've got like 1 million air miles, because I go around yakking, we go to the lounge, and it's all changed. It's really cool. The food's laid out. Ooh, it's beautiful food. There's nobody anywhere. There's just an iPad. And it says, we really care what you think. And there's a QR code. Put your feedback in here. It's really clever. Because obviously, if you put your feedback in, then they know where you are, what time it is, which facility it is. They know who you are. They can do a follow-up campaign. It's really clever. No one was putting anything in. And we didn't really fancy the food. But it was very clever. So we said, let's go and eat at our favorite restaurant. So we went, there's like a family chain restaurant, and we went down to eat. And it's quite cool. The staff there are normally quite cool, and they talk about the menu and all this stuff. And we go down to the restaurant, and a young woman comes to serve us, and she's got a new handheld app. Now, my little girl always orders her pudding first, and then she works backwards. And my wife does guilt ordering, because we're going on holiday, so of course she wants a drink, and of course she wants chips. But she has to go through a routine where she pretends she doesn't. And that's fine. And when you've got a notepad, that's easy. This poor young woman was fighting the app. And in the end, her eyes went down as she tried to stay up with us. But I mean, they're good things, handhelds, because of course, the order goes straight through to the kitchen, and the queuing is fair, and there's no mistakes. So they're good things. We just didn't like it very much. And this is the thing we talk about, isn't it? When we meet customer need, of course you've got to be useful and you've got to be usable, but you've got to be meaningful. And I was going on holiday, I learned a lot in that airport. And then we went down to, oh no, Gatwick, the bags. No, the bags. It's always terrible at Gatwick. Kids losing their shoes, people fighting and shouting. It was amazing. We went through security, got to the end, go off to a separate area. If they've taken your laptop or your things, they come and find you. You go away. It was brilliant. And at the end of the line, there was a flip chart. There was the flip chart saying, did you like it? What did you think? And everyone was writing on it and reading it and going back and looking, people joking. The staff were reading it and looking at it. This guy going, I really liked it, it was great. This guy's going, I hated it, I hate Gatwick, I hate you all. This guy going, I lost my wife, it was great. Just different comments, it's just funny. But people were reading it, and you know what? I do think they cared. We're going to make this better. And together, we're going to make this better because we're going to connect. We're going to connect. I'm going to need 1 more minute, sorry. We're going to connect. Look, you don't want 10 minutes Q&A. I'm going to talk for a few more minutes. Okay, so it was a really good lesson. It reminded me of my favorite joke, Tommy Cooper. Not too loud. Tommy Cooper, famous English comedian, just joke, doctor, I'm fine, but whenever I stick my arm up in the air, really hurts. I'm fine, do that. It really hurts. Doctor says, Well, don't do it then. Just because you can do something, you don't have to. You don't have to throw an iPad at everything. You don't have to create a technical platform for everything. Functionality is a dangerous word. Functionality is all the stuff we can do, how we do, what we do, not why we do. A flip chart is an agile platform. Lesson 1, ask yourself why. Lesson 2, the why is in the meaningful shared moment. That's cool. Technology, have a coffee, is cool. Nike running with a virtual coach is cool. Technology is connecting. Maersk, social news, amazing, it's cool. But it doesn't have to be. I need one more minute. I've nearly finished. This is worth it. This is worth it. This is worth it. This is better. This, right, okay. I'm going to do a vote. I'm going to do a vote. This is the only good bit. So, we go to Spain on the holiday. I've learned my first 2 lessons, and we go into the caves. Have you seen this stuff? 30,000 years old. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just beautiful. And the guy's explaining, well, you see, they used egg and they used animal fat to create the paint. And so the carbon dating can tell how old the picture is because of the animal fat and the eggs. And I'm going, shut up! Shut up! Let me look at the picture. I don't care about the painting. How? I want to look at the painting. Eve, what was she doing 30,000 years ago? Oh, she was doing a painting so she could document where she went hunting. No, she wasn't. She was doing a painting so she could teach the children what animals look. No, she wasn't. She was decorating her cave. Come to my house. She was telling a story. Look at the animals. They're going on the right from formal to abstract. They're rushing to their death. The animals are rushing to a kind of inevitable death, like we all are. But there's something beautiful about it. The story's the hero. The story's the hero. This is nonsense. I'm bringing them in. Oh, yeah. Here, I'm saying technology's the hero. It's not the hero. Listen, the birth of printing, the birth of industry, the birth of technology. Who got rich? Who got rich? She didn't get rich. The technologists got rich. But then, printing doesn't diminish us. Printing liberates the writers. Yeah? Industry liberates designers. Software liberates you. And that is what's going to happen. It's not about the innovation. It's about the innovator. And for the last year, that is what I've done. Okay? We talk about innovation, blah, 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 blah. Motivating me. Very kind. Thank you. Very kind.
Matthew Banks.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that amazing start into the day. He does seem to be quite passionate about it. We have time for just 1 or 2 Q&A questions.
I haven't got any answers.
He doesn't have any answers, as he specifically says. So if you're not looking for answers, go see him out in the fairgrounds.
Come and
Big
find
hand
us
for being here.
on the Oracle stand. We've got all the answers.
All
Thank
right,
you very
Matthew
much.
Banks, thank you for
you.
being here.